Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of September 22nd. We are going to jump right in here. You have this Remember and Regret card. If anything, you're probably healing any regrets that you have or anything like that with the eclipse that we're having on Sunday, on the 21st, before the week actually starts. So, again, I wouldn't worry about that. And, especially if anything pops up, around that time, at the beginning of the week. Although eclipses can last for 6 months after the eclipse. So, this could be something that you're healing from for a long time. I also kind of feel what I was going to say is something's coming back around and you get the Wheel of Fortune. And so I don't really feel this is remember, I feel like it's literally saying remember a regret, as in, and here you go, you have the card of regret right here, the Five of Cups. If there's something that you didn't take advantage of in the past, and if it's coming back around, then I would take advantage of it now, right? And so it's almost like this could be a return opportunity that you feel like you missed out on, or it could be an opportunity that you've always wanted, and it's now you're getting the opportunity to have something that you want. And I feel this is saying, I don't think it's saying regret this. I think it's saying don't regret this, You start here in your current general energies with the Seven of Pentacles. You have the Moon and the Four of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. The Seven of Pentacles is my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? He's looking at everything that he has done here in his life, maybe, completely. And he's saying, was it worth it or not? Really there is no good answer with the Seven of Pentacles, because obviously some things in life are worth it and some things aren't, right? And so I always look at the Seven of Pentacles as kind of a card of weighing your options and also making sure that you're doubling down on things that are growing. The Seven of Pentacles also says really that it's time to grow something new. He's gotten everything he can out of the situation. He's learned everything he can about, growing this type of pentacle, and there might be some other pentacles that he could grow in his life. And I would say that this eclipse definitely has a major financial theme for Leo. So, I feel a lot of you are, probably for years to come, are going to be changing the way that they make money. Leos, well, you. And so, again, this is probably a good thing. I would say, the one warning that I'm getting off of the Seven of Pentacles is analysis paralysis. He might be spending too much time looking at the details when he should just get started. And, I kind of get that vibe for you. Next, you have the Four of Pentacles and the Moon. This could be something that's holding you back a little bit, right? The Four of Pentacles is a comfort zone. The Moon is scary. The Moon is part of the Fool's journey, and he has to go down the path of the Moon. But, everything about the Moon is kind of a warning. We have this lobster here, which says the Fool has to go down this path without wearing his emotional armor. We have this dog and the wolf, dog and coyote, whichever you prefer. And, they represent needing to balance out your domestic side and your wild side. You have the two pillars here. The two pillars are kind of a warning to the Fool to not get off his path. So the Moon itself says if you're going to start something, you have to see it through to the end. You have to follow it to its logical conclusion. And if that's the only way that you'll be successful with the Moon. But I also feel like the Moon isn't really a bad card, right? It just says that you don't know all the details, but guess what? That's life. Whenever we start something, we really don't know how it's going to finish. We just have to kind of follow it through to the end. Again, Four of Pentacles, I feel, as always, Leo. It wouldn't be a Leo reading if there wasn't a card that said leave a comfort zone. So, I don't know. I think a lot of you could be doing things to leave comfort zones. You have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. I cannot. The Ace of Wands has come up a billion times in the month of September. So, clearly this time is very good for creativity, creative ideas, creative insights, out with the old, in with the new. Makes sense. Again, it's kind of obvious with eclipse energy, because eclipses usually eclipse one thing out of our lives so we can have something new. And a lot of you, something might be crumbling in your life and you're starting something new. Again, very obvious energy to me as well, because we had Pluto in Capricorn and it went into Aquarius, and now it's officially in Aquarius, your opposite sign. That cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius is the death of establishment. pretty much everybody is being asked to reinvent themselves, to reinvent things that have been established in your life for a long time. So it's like the universe is just asking us to level up or evolve. It's pretty simple. Actually, it's not. Maybe it's not simple. It's probably scary, but at the same time, if you do it, you'll be glad that you did, right? So anything you can do to upgrade anything that you care about would be a good idea. With the Seven of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, I actually feel pretty good about this, weirdly enough. I do not like the Nine of Swords. It is my least favorite card in the tarot, for sure. I think it's the worst card in the deck, worse than the Tower, for sure. The reason being is that he's stuck. It's my card of Groundhog's Day, and so he's stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. But I actually feel pretty good about it because I feel like you are not. Like, you are overcoming this Groundhog's Day energy and you're making changes at this time. It's almost like you're maturing very quickly as well. You have the King of Swords. King of Swords is a card of maturity. But I feel like I feel like the King of Swords is almost a change that you are making, is the intuitive message that I'm getting off of it. So, a lot of you could be growing up fast, so to speak. Even if you're 90 years old, doesn't matter. You could still be doing something to take charge or to take control, and I think that's good. With the Four of Pentacles and the Moon, you have the Tower. It's funny that I said the Tower. Everybody has had the Tower this week. Whenever everybody gets the Tower, to me, it can represent a global Tower moment. We are going to have a lot of those between now and the 2033, basically, with Uranus and Gemini. Uranus and Gemini kind of is a global Tower moment. Now, is it bad? No, I would say, because Uranus loves Gemini. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so Uranus is happy to be in Gemini. But, there definitely could be, it's still a little bit of chaos, right? But we are entering into a new reality. So, again, like I said, I never worry. Well, I don't know that's true, but I don't worry about you as an individual when everybody has the Tower for a week, right? And that's what's happening this week. You have the Ace of Wands, you have the Hermit. So yeah, the Hermit is about shining bright. He needs to shine that light out into the world. He's been through a dark night of the soul, and now he's coming out the other side. So a lot of you, I feel it's time for you to share. I always say, you always get the Hermit with me, Leo, and I'm always saying to you that I always use the example of becoming a teacher with you, because it's like that's the best way I can describe the Leo energy. It's almost as if you are becoming a teacher, but not like literally. We're more talking about leading through, being an example. That's how you're going to teach people, right? And so a lot of you, without realizing it, you might be teaching people how to do things, or how to live life, or how to live a better life. And from a spiritual perspective, I think that's probably one of the better things that you could focus on, especially with Pluto in your opposite sign. We're mixing things up this week. We're going to look at messages from your future self in this next row. You have this self-regulation card and this slow it down card. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if all fire signs get a message of needing to slow down at this time, because I feel that there's a lot going on for fire that's actually encouraging you to push and force, but that really that is probably the opposite of what you should be doing. So I think slowing things down, taking your time, would be a good thing. And the self-regulation card, again, is actually based off this row would be a good thing. It's like you are regulating your emotions more, or maybe you're regulating yourself more. You have the Nine of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. Nine of Pentacles, of course, is the card of independence. Leos typically are pretty independent, and you could be doing things to make yourself more secure in life, is kind of what I feel. It's kind of obvious to me as well that, we have Uranus will be retrograding back into Taurus, another fixed sign, in November. And Uranus and Taurus is all about freedom. So this is like the final last hug and a kiss from Uranus and Taurus for you, Leo, for everybody. But, really, I think it's going to affect fixed signs more. And, I think it does. And so this is kind of like that final goodbye where you're maybe being triggered to create more freedom in your life. Nine of Pentacles is heaven on earth. And Nine of Pentacles wants us to do things to create heaven on earth. So there's a million, there's a million things you could do to create that, but anything that isn't right in your life, you could be kind of like fixing it, or it doesn't even say that things need to be fixed. It just says, maybe you have a vision of how a certain aspect of your life should be, and the Nine of Pentacles wants you to focus on that and create it. It's just that simple. Again, Nine of Pentacles doesn't say your life is going to be perfect, but it does say you could make it a little bit better, and that's what I would definitely be doing. She's also the card of gratitude and luxury, so Practicing gratitude would probably be a wise choice this week. You have the King of Wands. I kind of feel like you're embracing the King of Wands energy, which is good. It's like you're more yourself this week. It seems to me like it's a very independent reading. You have a little bit of love at the end, but, it just seems to me like you are maybe more focused on yourself, which is good. It is a great time for everybody to focus on themselves and to, be the best that they can be. And that's kind of the message I'm getting off of the King of Wands. I also feel there's like a new sense of drive coming in here. I do feel very good about this, Leo. Like, I feel like there is this new, fire building inside of you or something. Like, you feel very driven to me, and maybe this isn't going to happen like today. Today is September 18th. This will be published on the 19th. So, it's going to be published before the week starts. But, and again, it's maybe not something that you're going to feel right away. But this could be something that you work on over the next 6 months with the eclipse energy, and that develops over time, and that I feel would be a good thing. I would do more of like what makes you feel driven, because I feel like feeding that will help you the most. You have the Wheel of Fortune. It is like something is coming back around, like an opportunity or something that you regret missing out on from your past. Or, I don't know. Sometimes I think we just mature to a point where we can do something that we couldn't do in the past. I really don't have much to add because I just feel like saying do it. It could be something silly. It could be something small. It could be just like a goal that you've always had, or, maybe you've always wanted to like travel to a location or something. But, it's like sometimes I feel like we don't realize like how much of an impact doing something even small can do for us, because it's like when we do it, we are proving to ourselves that we can do something that we wanted to do. And when you do one thing, your chances are you're going to do more, right? And so sometimes I think that people don't realize that, just like maybe you've always wanted to go to Iceland or something. It's like, and now you can. It's like, go, because you're proving to yourself that you can, and then you'll do more. And that's part of like feeding this fire that we were talking about, that drive with the King of Wands. It's like if you just tell yourself, oh, I can do this now, it's not really feeding the fire. But if you actually go and do it, then you're feeding that part of yourself. And the Wheel of Fortune is all about, creating a positive feedback loop in your life. It is about doubling down on the good stuff. And if you do that, you'll get more of it. So there you go. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, Eight of Pentacles is straightforward, diligent work. Moon, with the Moon card as well, the Moon to me says pick one thing, make it happen, right? Same thing with the Eight of Pentacles. He's just working on one thing. He's doing what he can with what he's got right now. He's creating those 8 pentacles, and that's pretty much it, right? So I would be doing whatever you can to kind of like focus on kind of one thing at a time, or it's like you are focusing on one thing at a time with the Eight of Pentacles, or you are focusing on, creating these 8 pentacles in front of you. So I think that would be really good, focusing on one project, or, doubling down on one idea in your life with the Eight of Pentacles. With the King of Wands, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, Knight of Swords is about momentum and building momentum. So definitely feeding that fire, the drive inside of you, whatever's making you feel driven right now, is going to be important. The other thing I would say is Eight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords could be money coming in. Eight of Pentacles is work that you've already done. So Eight of Pentacles says if you've already done work or have been working hard on something and you haven't been seeing a result, Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon. And, the Moon card as well, which was right here, the Moon kind of says don't stop. Those two pillars are a distraction to the Fool. Not really, but kind of, because they basically tell him don't get off the path. See this thing through to the end. So if you've been working on something like a project, business idea, or your health or something personal, it's like maybe you haven't seen results as quickly as you want, but I feel like the reading itself is saying keep going because you're about to get a result. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Ten of Swords. Yes, we have to be very picky with Seven of Pentacles and Wheel of Fortune energy. We have to cut things out very quickly that aren't working, and we have to double down on the good stuff, right? And so I kind of feel this is saying, didn't I say this to you? I'm pretty sure it was you, Leo, that I recently said it's like you're getting better at, as Esther Hicks says, you're getting better at sifting and sorting. I think you're getting better at seeing like what works, what doesn't work. And this is really about trust, is what I feel. You have to trust yourself enough to know when things are right for you and when situations are not right for you. And developing that trust in yourself is also going to lead to success. Next, we're going to look at what you don't see coming, how you cannot make this up. You have this card. It says you're very close to achieving your goal. There you go. You have this believe in the impossible. Yes. The part of the challenge is Neptune and Pisces. Neptune's in Aries right now, but next month it will retrograde. It is retrograde as well, but it will officially retrograde into Pisces next month. Neptune and Pisces is the big impossible dream. It is believing that you can do something that seems impossible. As I've said to others, normally, like if we only had Neptune and Pisces, then I would probably be saying it probably is impossible. But we don't. We also have Saturn. I think it's no mistake that we are all alive right now with Saturn at the same time, retrograding back and moving forward into, it's going to they're basically retrograde together in Pisces, and they're going to move forward in January and February of next year into Aries. So, again, we have like this one last chance to work on the impossible goal or dream and make it happen. You have the Five of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Devil. Five of Cups can be regrets or sadness, but, he's really, the story of the card is that he's lost his taste for wine, and he needs to turn around and realize there's something better behind him. And when he sees these two cups, he gets this bridge in this castle. So the whole point of the Five of Cups is to, realize that there's something from your past, probably the Seven of Pentacles as well, that you don't enjoy doing in your life any longer, and it's time to make that shift. It's time to make that change. And, that's basically what I would be doing with the Five of Cups is like, don't be afraid to make those changes. Don't be afraid of, reinventing something you're doing, or, don't be afraid to try new things with the Five of Cups as well. You have the King of Swords. I really just get this energy of you maturing to a certain degree here, Leo. It's like you are finally leveling up, or you're finally getting the answers you need or the information you need to make something happen in your life. But it feels like maturity to me, like I said. The other thing is that he has great discernment. He's able to, again, he's able to say, this is not right, this is right, to anything that he's about to do. That's what I think this reading is saying, is like, you need to trust I don't even know what to call it, but, you need to trust your discernment at this time, because I feel like your first instinct, your first gut instinct, even though technically he's more logical, but still, I'm going to call it a gut instinct on any situation, love, business, ideas. If you feel excited by something right away, do it, because it will lead to a lot of success. You have the Devil. A lot of devil energy this week for whatever reason, and I kind of feel that it's more the devil on our shoulder this week. That's why it's coming up so much, is that we could have some self-doubt, or and it kind of makes sense because we have the South Node in Virgo, and we also have this eclipse in Virgo. And so I feel that people could be seeing like the blockages that exist, or the blockages that they need to remove from their lives. And so if you're seeing some sort of blockage, it could be more like your inner voice, or something that you say to yourself, or a story that you believed about yourself for too long. That's definitely something that you could work on this week. With the Five of Cups, you have the Two of Swords. Yeah, it's like, I think this is the trick for everyone, as well as Two of Swords. I talk about this all the time. This is my card of third place solutions. she's thinking this or that, but there's like actually another way of doing things over here. And so you're going to have to like explore the unknown at this time, Leo. That's like my favorite thing for Leo to do right now, is if there's something you don't know how to do, just learn about it. And you'll probably be very surprised by the results, or you'll be happy that you did learn about it. It's funny to me, how, I work with a lot of people, and I'll get people all the time that say, I'm too old to learn this, I'm too young, I'm too this, I'm too that. And I'm always like, yeah, but that's not even true. Like, there are plenty of people who have done it, what you're saying you can't do. So the Two of Swords, maybe that's the devil that needs to be removed from your shoulder, is like, I'm too this, I'm too that. And if you could remove that and stop believing it, then things would change. With the King of Swords, you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, moving on to calmer shores, definitely improvements this week. It's kind of a weird week because, like, on one hand, I can see the challenges that this eclipse could be creating for people. They're not even challenges, they're blockages. But they're not like bad blockages. They're like the universe saying, hey, remove this blockage from your life because I want you to make your life better. It's like that type of thing. So really, honestly, if you work on the improvement, then obviously you'll get the improvement. With the Devil, you have the Fool. Yeah, the Fool is about taking a leap of faith, and I do feel that for Leo, like taking a leap of faith into the unknown. This could also be about you removing a limiting situation from your life. The devil can just be a toxic energy vampire. Doesn't even have to be a person, right? It's like some of us have jobs, or some of us have situations in general, things that we do that are toxic or don't help us or steal our energy. And the fool would be you leaping away from, whatever that toxic thing is, which is good. Next, we're going to look at the good stuff. You have this exchanging gifts card and this soulmates card. So some of you could be getting the gift of a soulmate. Like for those of you that want love, definitely looks really good. If you already have love, I feel this looks good because you have the Hierophant and the Four Wands, which says you could be marrying the person you're with. The exchange gifts card is like a gift from the universe. So I do feel that some of you could have a gift from the universe, and it's probably a new direction for you, Leo. So, you have too many cards of direction here. Seven of Pentacles, the Moon, the Six of Swords, the Fool, the Ace of Wands. Like this is all new inspirations, new ideas, and that's what the gift could be. You have the Eight of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Four Wands. Yeah, I mean, Eight of Wands is like a quick conclusion or quick success. So I do feel that, you might surprise yourself with how quickly you could become successful with something new. Again, I've been saying for years to Leo that they need to upgrade their career. It's like one of the things that I think Leo should be focusing on. And again, I think it could happen quickly. Same thing with business. Like if you want to start a business, or if you want to start something that is a business, that's what I would be focusing on with this card. Also a great card for words, right? All your readings lately have been about the words that you tell yourself, the things, how you talk to yourself. And the Eight of Wands is a great card for communicating with yourself more positively. You also have a lot of cards on top of all that really would represent your focus. Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, she has the Falcon on her wrist, which is all about focus. The Eight of Wands wants us to point in one direction, wants us to like pick one thing and finish it. Moon, right? So that is your secret sauce for this week. You have the Hierophant. Hierophant can be marriage, of course. Again, if you're meeting a person, sure, could be a person that you marry. You don't have to. It could just be a deep commitment. The thing about the Hierophant is these are usually two people who are on a similar path. They're two people who share a parallel journey. Like these two guys are right next to each other, right? So you could be attracting a person. It doesn't say that you're the same. You could be completely different, but it's like at least the the direction is similar, and that could be a clue. Like if you're dating, if you're meeting people, that could be a clue for who it is. And, that's what I would pay attention to. You have the Four Wands, again, marriage. So, again, if you want it, it's here. Four Wands is also a card of freedom, which, like I said, Uranus in Taurus in November. Even though it's not there yet, again, you should be starting now. I always say astrology is like a wave. We can start early. We don't have to wait. So I would be looking at how you can create more freedom for yourself in work. How can you give yourself more hours in the day? How can you give yourself more time? The answer is leverage, by the way. It's like, how can you create more leverage for yourself? And there's a million things that you could be doing. So that's what I would be thinking about to create more freedom with that card. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, finally, Leo. It's like going from slow to fast. Knight of Pentacles is very slow, and he's not even moving on this card. He's the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move. And you have the Eight of Wands. So again, something that has been moved very slowly really seems to be picking up steam for you. And again, the message, you have a very simple reading this week, I would say. It's like one message, basically. Even though we've talked about several different themes like focus, direction, things like that, it's all basically the same. So, again, I think for a lot of you, this is saying that you're picking a direction and things are going to speed up. Yeah, with the Hierophant, you have the Ten of Cups. Really good love stuff. Like if you're wanting to have a family with a person, if you're wanting to form a connection with a person, definitely could be meeting a person like that. Ten of Cups is also fortune after difficulty, which is amazing after the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords, they're moving on for the hopes of a brighter future. But the Ten of Cups is the brighter future. So I feel a lot of you are kind of like, experiencing fortune after difficulty. With the Four Wands, you have the Star. Again, amazing end to the reading, especially with the Tower. We definitely, seeing the Star after a Tower in a reading is good. It kind of says that you'll be overcoming an obstacle, or, it represents healing from a Tower moment, so I wouldn't even worry about it. You have this dog close up. It says pleasure with close friends. Eight of Wands and Ten of Cups are just amazing cards for socializing, spending more time with people who matter to you. So yes. You have this August card and this V card. It says victory in some endeavor. Yeah, if since August you've been thinking about having some sort of victory or creating a victory for yourself, that could be what this is saying. It's like saying that you could be doing something right now that you were thinking about in August. That could be what's coming back around with that Wheel of Fortune. That's really the feeling that I was getting on the Wheel of Fortune. You have this key. It says successful outcome to your problems. Love it. Again, your reading is actually really good. Compared to what everybody else, except for I think Libra also had a really good reading. Everybody else, the readings were a little bit sketchy this week. A lot of towers, a lot of other stuff. So your reading, it definitely seems to be a reading of you overcoming an obstacle, and it's better than everybody else's, except for Libra. You have this coins card. It says money will be coming to you. Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the reading, it's obvious to me, again, from an astrology perspective, that your money could be improving. I'm not saying this is going to magically happen. And again, 9 of Swords, you're going to have to change the story. You're going to have to do things differently than you've been doing them. If you've already started a new creative project or something like that, then, that could be the thing that leads to this success. But, I have to stress that this is not necessarily going to happen overnight. This is something that you are building that's going to take time. But like I always say to you, fixed signs, Uranus and Taurus, you're getting one more hug and a kiss. Goodbye from Uranus and Taurus. And I would take advantage of it. You want to build something long-term, something that's built to last, something that you plan to improve over time, because that's what Uranus loves. Uranus loves like that slow, steady, planned out, in security and building something on a solid foundation, right? And it could be anything. Love, could be a relationship, could be a business, could be your health, could be all of that. It should be everything, right, that you focus on, and that's what I would do. You have this older man card. It says dealings with relationships with an older man. It could be you have the King of Swords. You have this bell card. I always clarify these people cards. It says announcement on it. So yeah, if you're communicating with a person, or if you're wanting to communicate with a person, this could be that communication. But this looks very good, Leo. I'm going to leave it there. I forgot to say, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below. It really helps me out in the algorithms of YouTube nowadays. But looks amazing. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.